Are your company processes currently trapped in a Google Doc that nobody has opened since 2019? Or worse, are they living entirely inside your head, keeping you awake at 3 a.m.? Look, I've been there. You're juggling 5 different subscription tools just to figure out who is doing what. You're trying to explain a workflow to a new freelancer using a frantic screen recording. You have absolutely no idea how much that simple email automation is actually costing you in labor. And you are just tired. Tired of the chaos, tired of the monthly fees for tools you barely use. Well, grab your coffee because I think I found the lifeboat. I stumbled across a tool called Puzzle on AppSumo, and it claims to turn that mess into a clear visual map that actually tracks time and money. And the best part? No monthly subscription. So stick around. We're going to find out if this is a hidden gem or just another shiny object. And hey, if you're impatient like me, you can check out the Puzzle deal right now using the link in the show notes. Okay, so let's be real for a second. Subscription fatigue is a real medical condition at this point. I mean, my accountant actually high-fived me last week when I told him I canceled a subscription. It's ridiculous. For years, the big guys, you know who I'm talking about, Miro, Lucidchart, maybe even Figma, have dominated the space. And don't get me wrong, they are great tools. But for a solopreneur or a small agency, paying $15 or $20 a month per user just to draw some boxes and arrows? It hurts. And the problem isn't just the money. It's that those tools are just drawing pads. They don't know what the boxes mean. You draw a square, label it Send Invoice, and that's it. The tool doesn't know that Send Invoice takes you 15 minutes and costs you $10 in labor. It's just a dumb shape on a screen. So you end up with a pretty diagram, but you still have no idea why your business is bleeding cash or where the bottlenecks are. That is exactly the headache Puzzle is trying to fix. So naturally, I had to try it. I went over to AppSumo, grabbed the Tier 1 license, which, by the way, is a one-time payment of $59, and hit redeem. The onboarding was actually pretty chill. You don't have to jump through hoops. I logged in, and the first thing I noticed was the dashboard. It's clean. It's got that modern, minimalist vibe, not cluttered like some enterprise software that looks like it was built in Windows 95. Now let's talk about what you get in the box. On Tier 1, you get 1 seat. That's important to note. If you have a partner or a small team, you might need to stack codes to get to Tier 2, which gives you 3 seats for $159. But here is the kicker. Even on the basic plan, you get unlimited objects, unlimited workspaces, and unlimited tabs. That is huge. Usually, these deals cap you at like 3 projects, and then they hold your hand out for more money. Puzzle lets you map out your entire business without hitting a paywall immediately. The interface itself feels familiar. If you've used Miro or Whimsical, you won't feel lost. There's a canvas, a toolbar on the left, but there are some extra buttons that hint at the superpower underneath. All right, let's get into the nitty-gritty. I decided to map out my podcast production workflow, the thing I'm doing right now, to see if this thing actually works. So I open a new canvas. I drag out a start node. Easy. Then I drag out a box for script writing. Now here is where Puzzle gets cool. I'm not just labeling the box. I click on it and a side panel opens up. It asks me for attributes. It asks me, who owns this? I select myself. It asks, which tool do you use? I type in Google Docs. Then, and this is the moment I went, whoa, it asks for time and cost. I typed in 2 hours for time and assigned a labor rate. Immediately, the little box on the screen updated with a $sign. I kept going. I added audio editing, connected it to Descript. I added upload, connected it to Buzzsprout. Within about 10 minutes, well, okay, maybe 15 because I got distracted by a Twitter notification, I had a full flowchart. But it wasn't just a picture. I clicked a button that said Process Costing, and Puzzle literally did the math for me. It told me, hey, this one episode cost you exactly X amount of dollars in labor and tools. It even highlighted SaaS bloat. It showed me that I was using 3 different tools for file storage in one workflow. I mean, talk about a wake-up call. I felt personally attacked, but in a good way. And then the integration part. I connected it to my Zapier account. I thought it was going to be a nightmare, but I clicked Sync, and it actually pulled in my live zaps. It mapped them out visually. I could see exactly where my automations were breaking. For a non-tech wizard like me, seeing the invisible robot work made visible? That's gold. Now, how does this fit into daily life? It is a web-based app, so no heavy installation. It runs pretty smooth in Chrome. I didn't notice any lag, even when I started duplicating a bunch of boxes just to stress test it. One thing to mention, the integrations. It plays nice with HubSpot, Make, and Zapier. If you are an agency running automations for clients, this is huge because you can literally show the client, look, here's the complex web of magic I built for you. And it updates in real time. As for support, this is an AppSumo select deal, which usually means the quality control is higher. The founder, Brian, seems super active in the questions section. I read through some reviews. People were asking for specific features, and the team was actually responding with added to roadmap or coming next week. That's a good sign. You want a tool that's alive, not abandoned. Okay, friends, let's take off the rose-colored glasses. Here is the honest truth, pros and cons. Pros first. Number 1 is the value. Getting a tool that does logic, cost calculation, and visual mapping for a one-time price of $59 is a steal compared to paying monthly forever. Number 2, the data behind the drawing. Being able to calculate ROI on a workflow is a game changer for consultants. You can literally show a client, this new process saves you $5,000 a year. That pays for the software instantly. Number 3, it's surprisingly intuitive for how powerful it is. Now the cons, it's not perfect. The UI, while clean, can be a little strict. If you're used to just scribbling wildly on an iPad, Puzzle feels a bit more rigid because it wants you to structure data. Also, while the library of shapes is good, it's not as massive as what you'd find in the big competitors yet. And there's a learning curve to the object system. You have to get used to defining your people and tools before you start dragging them around effectively. It took me a second to get that logic. So, what's the verdict? If you are just looking for a digital napkin to doodle on during a Zoom call, Puzzle is probably overkill. Stick to a free whiteboard tool. But if you are a freelancer, a consultant, an agency owner, or an operations manager who needs to optimize work, not just draw it, if you need to see where your money is going and stop paying monthly fees for tools that barely do half of this, then yeah, this is a no-brainer. This is one of those deals I'm keeping in my back pocket. I'm giving it a solid 4.5 out of 5 tacos. Right now, you can grab the lifetime deal starting at $59 on AppSumo. And remember, AppSumo has that sweet 60-day money-back guarantee. So honestly, you can buy it, map out one messy process, see if it saves you money, and if it doesn't, just get your refund. No risk. If you want to check it out, please grab the deal through my link in the show notes. It helps support the pod and keeps me in coffee, which keeps me recording. Go map your chaos, folks. Catch you in the next one.